Well, most of the snow has now melted in Victoria just in time for the annual flower count, but don't be fooled by the blossoms. Environment Canada warns us tonight that spring is still a long way off, and unless you live in Atlantic Canada, you'd better keep the toques and mittens handy. Astrid Braunschmidt has the story.
We found Ameya with her brother and mom in Beacon Hill Park today, feeding the ducks and counting the flowers.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Squashed by the snow? But they still count, right?
Yeah.
They sure do. In Victoria's annual flower count, the promotional event encourages us to tally up the flowers until March 7th so we can poke fun at the deep freeze in other Canadian cities.
We're counting blossoms. The people in the rest of Canada are still playing hockey outside on frozen ponds.
For 35 years, we've counted the flowers in Victoria, proving to the rest of the country that our West Coast winter really isn't winter. Good thing we didn't do the flower count last week. Because under this much snow, it would be impossible to see these.
Well, we counted about 21 billion blossoms last year. I think there's the potential to count 21 billion this year, but I think it's probably unlikely given the weather conditions we have right now.
Greater Victoria mayors and councillors competing for the best flower arrangement agreed on one thing: they enjoyed waking up to see winter washing away.
The rain was coming down, the snow was going away. I got a chance to get out, count my crocuses this morning.
Was this covered in snow this morning?
Just a little icing, sugar dusting.
Life's a beach in Oak Bay.
Across the country, a very different picture. Just look at the deep freeze in western PEI. This is Moncton, where evidence of a storm a week is piled high around town. But there's a bright spot on the horizon, at least for Atlantic Canada. It's called the sun. Environment Canada's spring forecast shows it's coming.
If there's any good news, it's probably there in Atlantic Canada, where conditions look like they're going to be normal to maybe even slightly warmer than normal.
Warmer, drier than normal weather conditions for the east, but for the rest of us,
from Vancouver Island to even major parts of Quebec, it looks like winter is going to continue with temperatures that are going to be colder than normal.
On the prairies, the news is nearly as painful as the biting cold. Saskatchewan experienced the chilliest start to March on record. In Winnipeg, -37 with the wind. Here in Beacon Hill Park, it's just ducky, weather worthy of a trophy. And that's the point of the flower count. Even though Victoria's spring forecast may be cooler than normal, it's still milder than most of the rest of the country. In Victoria, Astrid Braunschmidt, A News.